Out lesbian Beth Mead is named BBC Sports Personality of the Year. The LGBTQ plus hero who helped propel England to victory at the UEFA Women's Euro 2022 this summer was voted winner of the prestigious award by the British public during Wednesday's December 21st live show on BBC One. Mead, who is just one of many out LGBTQ plus players in the England women's football squad, had previously won the coveted Golden Boot for most goals scored in the Euros and was also named Player of the Tournament. She held off competition from other nominees, including cricketer Ben Stokes and snooker player Ronnie O'Sullivan. Beth Mead is the second out LGBTQ plus athlete to win BBC Sports Personality of the Year, after world champion figure skater John Curry in 1976. At the awards, England's Lionesses were named BBC Sports Personality Team of the Year 2022, while head coach Sarina Wiegman picked up the Coach of the Year award. Dame Kelly Holmes, who came out publicly as a lesbian in June, also won the award in 2004, 18 years before sharing her sexuality with the world. Mead revealed earlier this year that she'd never had to physically come out as gay because LGBTQ plus players in women's football are more accepted than in the men's game.
Sorry, I'm speechless for once. Obviously, I'm incredibly honoured to win this award. I'll keep saying it's cliche, but I wouldn't have done it without them girls over there and the team that have backed me. Yes, I've got this accolade. I did my job, I scored a few goals, but I wouldn't have done it without them. And I certainly wouldn't have done it without my dad, my mum, and all my family.
I only have two words. Yay, sports ball.
What's 46 years among friends?
Oh, wow.
That's how long it was between two gay people winning it. And by the way, I actually looked up John Curry. Turns out he was outed just before the Olympic Games and somehow still won that award because I think they're just so much more forward in Europe than they are over here.
But imagine that here, right?
Agreed.
Right, but I think 46 years is just way too long.
Yeah. I found it interesting that she said being a queer athlete is more accepted in women's sports than in men's sports, which I want to kind of like dive into that. Is that a heteronormative thing? Is that a machismo thing?
Have you, listen,
I don't know sports enough.
No, wait a minute. Let me clear it up for you.
Penis.
Billie Jean
Yours
King?
or mine?
I don't know.
No. No, let me clear it up for you. It's really very simple. It's the stigma that's always been placed on women in sports.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. Ever since you were a child, if you had a female PE teacher, she's a lesbian. She's got to be a lesbian.
That's right.
I was taught about lesbian. The first thing that you hear, when you hear the word lesbian, you hear it when you're maybe 12, 13 years old, and it's always because it's a female PE gym teacher.
Right.
That's literally, it's so crazy.
Well, it's because sports are seen as predominantly a masculine thing. So once you have women expressing some sort of masculinity, they're automatically queer.
It's true.
That's a very good point.
Yep.
And some of the butchest women I know are hetero. So there you go.
Those are the ones that confuse the heck out of me. Wait a minute, you don't play for us?
Why
not?
The metrosexuals confuse me. So there we go. But, I think about, and again, I'm not a woman. I just happen to love them insanely for whatever reason I'll never understand. But, I look at something as simple as the Girl Scouts versus the Boy Scouts, and how the Boy Scouts are still vehemently anti-gay, and yet the Girl Scouts have been, hey, come join us for I don't know how many years, but it's been a minute. And, I don't remember hearing any controversy about who's that one there are several lesbians on the women's soccer team, U.S. women's soccer team.
Oh, Rapinoe? Megan
Thank
Rapinoe?
you, Megan Rapinoe. Not a peep.
No.
You know, and meanwhile, by the way, they're winning more than the men. They should be paid more than the men, but we won't go there. You know, and even, you know, there was it goes back to, if I remember correctly, there was a trans woman in women's tennis back in the 60s.
Renee Richards.
Renee, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know about her.
Oh,
Check her
yes. Oh, yes.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's just, you know, I said on one of these broadcasts ages ago that I considered women the superior sex, and I stand by that. I don't know. I don't think they're as bothered by, you know, this, because it's like, I mean, I witnessed it at my company office party. We have a woman assistant superintendent who is an out lesbian, and the wife of the vice president, hi, how are you? Big hug. No, you know, and it's like, no fear, no nothing. The kids got along great. Right. It's like, I think it's just the difference between men and women.
It's just something that has also been ingrained into us as a society, that it's normally men, very masculine, any sort of femininity they are objectively against because it shows some sort of weakness. So that sort of opening up and that sort of being, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank, but they're just basically opening themselves up and to that sort of feeling.
Right.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.